How can you truly become rich? Why does it seem like every time that you get ahead and you get forward in your goals and your processes and all that good stuff, someone is 10 steps ahead of you? Have you ever wondered that? Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you only need one thing, and it's super simple. The bad news is it's up to you to do it and no one can make you. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the single most important thing that you need to get rich, stay rich, and get ahead of all of your competitors, whether that is in business, sales, or life in general. Now, of course, make sure you watch till the very end of this video because I'm gonna be doing a step-by-step breakdown of how I used each of these systems in my life when I was at a 9-to-5, when I was in sales, when I was in business, and in life. So, the moment you have been waiting for, what is the answer? Why is it that somebody feels 10 steps ahead? It's super simple. It's just systems. That is the answer. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean and what are systems? Well, let me answer what are systems first. Systems are super simple. It's basically just a procedure of what you do inside of your life, your 9-to-5, or your business that you have roadmapped out, you can follow, and you know is going to hit your goals. So a prime example of this would be in business, for example. We have a business that currently does $200,000 to $300,000 a month, right? And in that business specifically, in order for us to get to 10K a month, we had to have specific systems, 50K a month, 100K a month, and so on and so forth. In order for us to get to 100K a month, we knew we needed to get leads, which entailed us posting content. We knew we needed to post content, and then after we posted that content, we got somebody to book a call. In that system, we then closed that call, got them into fulfillment, and made sure that we actually fulfilled on the promises that we made on that call. That was it. It was a 3-step system. It got us to 100K a month, and it ended up actually getting us to $1 million a year. Now, when you look at your competitors, for example, like we did, some of them were at 300,000 a month, some of them at 500,000, some of them at $1 million a month. And the only differences between us and them were systems. They had more systems and they had better systems. That's it. So in order for us to get to 200 to 300K a month, all we did was improve our systems and put more in. That is it. It's super simple, super easy. And I'm gonna give you a bunch of examples of how you can use this in your life and in sales. But before I jump into that, one thing I want you to really understand in this video is this. Anybody that is ahead of you just has a better system than you. And one thing I wanna point out, don't pay attention and compare yourself too much to too many people, right? Because you have your own journey and you've probably heard that a million times. But the reality is they are ahead of you because you probably suck. You don't have very many systems. You need systems inside of your life, inside of your 9-to-5, or inside of your business. If you had more systems, you'd have more predictability. And with more predictability comes more success. And that is super important to understand. So with that being said, if you ever look at anybody that's ahead of you, they just have a better system. Study their system, don't study the person. Super important. Now, what happens when you actually put systems in place into your life, into your 9-to-5, and into your business? Well, a bunch of different things happen. Number one, you are going to level up quite a bit because you have more systems, better systems, and you have predictability. So what does that look like? Let's say you're in a 9-to-5 job right now. How do you put systems in place in a 9-to-5? Super easy and super simple. It depends on what you're doing, of course. I'm gonna use the example of sales because I've been there and done that. I can't speak for you directly if you're in another job because I never fucking did it, right? That's it. So, in sales, I had a system specifically that I knew was gonna work every single time. First, I had my goals written out. I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. Then I had to make a system on how to achieve that. If I wanted to hit 100K in my first year, which I did, by the way, I needed to make a system. How many people do I need to talk to make one sale per day? Because the one sale per day would get me to 100K a year, even at the very, very minimum of what I was gonna make in commissions. So what I did is I based the system around that. I needed to talk specifically to 5 people per day in order to close one sale. That was step number 1 in my system. I needed to speak with 5 people in order to close one to make it happen. Then I took the system a step further. How do I talk to 5 people per day? Well, that's super simple. Some of them I would go out on the lot in the car dealership, make sure that I talked to maybe 2 or 3 on the lot. I would walk towards them, talk to them, all that good stuff. Some were interested, some weren't interested, but I knew my probability and I knew my chances. Another way that I would make sure and hit my 5 people per day was actually going into the service center, saying, hello, your car is getting serviced, right? What's happening with it? Is something wrong? Why haven't you upgraded? Things like that. So I would talk to people in service. And then last, of course, I would call people on a random list that have owned that car specifically in the past. That's what I would do. So did I talk to more than 5 people per day sometimes? Absolutely. But I knew my system, I knew it worked. And if I talked to more, I would get more out of it. Now, because I had a system in place, I also knew if I had a bad day, I had to step it up the next day. I had to make sure and sell 2 people instead of 1. On Saturdays, sometimes I had to sell 3 people instead of 1. Super important. But if you have these systems in place, all of a sudden you look up 2 months later, you're ahead of every single person. And that's what I consistently did in my 9 to 5. Now, in your life, what's a good system? A normal system that most people are accustomed to is waking up, brushing your teeth, maybe getting some coffee, and getting started with your day. Whether you like it or not, that's a system because you have a routine in place. You have a system that you know if I do this, everything's okay today. So when you start breaking it down into systems in your life, you realize, okay, this is what's going to make me successful today. I know that I'm going to get productivity done. I know I'm going to get the things done that I need to be done. Systems are the answer to everything. And if somebody is ahead of you at any point in time, it's because they have a better system. Study their system. Understand why it's better. Maybe it has more detail. Maybe it has more things. In business, I've already given you an example of that, but another example would be for our business. Right? For our business within systems specifically, what we did is we started running ads recently, right? And with these ads, the way we run them is people basically fill out a form. They say, yeah, I'm definitely interested in closing. I'm going to fill out this form and watch this video that's basically free value. After they fill out the form and they watch the video, we have a new system in place where they actually receive a text message saying, hey, did you watch the video? What did you think about it? Because our goal is to make sure that number 1, they're taken care of. Number 2, they found value. And number 3, maybe they want to purchase our $17 program, which by the way is in the description below if you want to check it out. But maybe they want to purchase it. So we actually have an SDR team that goes through a system and messages them and makes sure, hey, here's an offer just in case you wanted it. That's increased our sales dramatically and will continue to increase our sales because it was a system that we didn't have before that somebody else ahead of us had. So long story short, systems are the answer. If you are struggling right now and you're comparing yourself to others because they're ahead of you, don't look at them. Don't look at their follower count. Don't look at whatever it is that you're trying to look at. Look at their systems and make sure you have similar systems in place. And I promise you, you'll be there very soon. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, last but not least, how you can use these systems in your everyday life. Now, I've given a bunch of different examples, but how can you actually implement it today? Super simple, super easy. One thing I want you to do is get just a regular blank notepad out, right? And on this notepad, you need to write your goals. What are you actually trying to accomplish? What are you actually trying to do, okay? I can't do this for you on a YouTube video, but what I can do is give you the outline. Write your goals. What do you want to accomplish? How much do you want to make? What is it that you're trying to achieve overall? After you write these goals out, then come up with specific systems on how to carry that out. And all that looks like is just action steps. How do you get to the specific goal that you're trying to accomplish? If you're wanting to make 50K a year because you're only making 30K a year, figure out what you need to do in order to make those steps. Maybe it's getting a raise. Maybe it's getting certain things, right? Figure that out. And eventually those systems will start to take over. You'll start to have predictability and you will get success. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure and hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure and hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this, and let me know in the comments what you want me to make a video on next.